John, you talked about you being more into the blues. I know a lot of people like to fish for flatheads. A lot of people like to just go out on the river and catch catfish or channel catfish. When you're talking about that, I know on maybe the other side of the river, you've got some of those little chunk rock banks on some of those channel swings. Is that a good place to set up to just go catch a mess of channel cat?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you what, Brian, we was on the river last night, and I fished the river since, I don't know, 30 years, too long. It's starting to show my age here a little bit, but I have never seen the numbers of big channel cats that's in the Missouri River right now. It just continues to amaze me. They're a little bit irritating for me to a point, just because I want to try to keep them off so I can keep my bait in the water for big blues. But, you know, last night we had an 18-pound channel cat.
Wow.
We've caught a lot of channel cat this year from 10 to 18 pounds. A friend of mine caught 220s the other day. I have never seen so many big channels. So if you want to target channel cat right now, channel cat are probably at the peak that I've ever seen in the last 30 or 35 years. And you're dead on. If you go on them other side of the river and start fishing that chunk rock bank, you can target a lot of channel there. And don't forget your laydowns and that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
One of the questions I had, too, for you, John, is growing up and running up and down the river when I was younger, you always see some feeder creeks or things like that that come into the river. Are those any good to fish?
You know, I primarily myself use the feeder creeks to get bait. It's a good place to get bait for me. I don't go up in them too much anymore. I used to when I was, really learning the river, and I could catch a lot of smaller fish. If you're targeting smaller channel and that kind of stuff, absolutely. And let me back up a little bit. They are really good when the river gets really hot. When we go in flood stage and that kind of stuff, a lot of the catfish will move up in there to get out of that main stem of the current. You know, it provides them a little bit of protection. When this river's all the way down like it is right now, my money's going to be on the main body of the river, and a lot of times the banks immediately below these feeder creeks will hold a higher population of catfish. I think some of them move up there and feed along the mouth and stuff in the evening when they start feeding.
John, you mentioned earlier talking about overnight fishing. I think that can be a little overwhelming for people thinking, man, on the Missouri River being overnight, when you're talking those sandbars, when you're fishing for those big fish coming in, are you talking about fishing because, that, like you said, that water gets really clear up there on those sandbars? Are you talking fishing really shallow, or are you trying to cast out? What are you setting up when you're trying to catch those big fish moving in at night?
Yeah, kind of where I'm setting up on most of the sandbars at night is I've caught probably more big fish over 50 pounds in 5 to 8 foot of water than I have at any depth. And we caught blues at 110 feet deep. But if I had to put, say, one depth, it's going to be 5 to 8 foot. So we're not in the super clear water, but we're setting our boat up pretty really shallow, and we're sitting there, and you got to be really quiet sitting in that kind of environment. And then fish will push up in there. They're chasing the carp and the shad or whatever else is up there on that sandbar.